You have to carry out or have a cost risk assessment on all the chemicals you're using. And it's interesting, somebody mentioned in the chat earlier about, using clients' products and clients wanting you to use their products because they smell nice or they think that they're good. But how can you carry out a cost risk assessment on chemicals that you have not provided and might not necessarily know what they are before you start using them? So another reason for using professional products is you have access to the risk assessment, and you can decide actually then whether it's an appropriate product to use. So the risk assessment isn't just about ticking a box, it's also about making sure you're using safe products, because you might look at that cost risk assessment and think, actually, I don't think I want to take that risk.
In my opinion, there's two essential parts to running a business. One is the quote, which I've covered at length, and the second part is the training, because if you can get that first week's training right, all future problems are eradicated. We know that the quote sorts out the problems with the customers. Let's get that first week right with the staff, and then what turned out to be problem staff, they could go to a different company and they'd be perfect staff, and it is down to how we are training them.
What about all these cleaning hacks? That I know that they're entertaining, they're funny. Clean Talk is a phenomenon in terms of the billions of people that watch. But we saw one, I saw it today, I think you probably saw it today as well, that was shared, where somebody was cleaning a baking tray with, I think I saw bicarbonate of soda in there, toothpaste, lemon, and then sanitary towels. And I think at that point I turned it off, but I think you carried on, you persevered. And I think it was like a lot of these things. Was it real? Was it a joke? Is it just designed to get clicks? But the trouble is, people are trying these things. And when you're talking about chemicals, it's quite scary. It's entertaining, but scary at the same time.
Depends on the setting. If you're in healthcare settings, if you're in maybe more vulnerable people's settings, you may, commercial, yes, it's 2 point. I don't see how domestic's much different to how you should clean in commercial, okay? So I want some of you to think about this. And there were quite a few of you in there that went, oh my goodness, that question actually pushes me quite out of my comfort zone. We should be disinfecting. I understand why you're not, because there's time pressures, but how much time would a quick disinfectant spray add? So I really want you to think about that. And if there is any need for you to disinfect, start disinfecting that second time.
Where it has changed, okay, is when you have someone that is a part-year worker, part-year. So what the judge decided in the in this new piece of case law is that someone that is a part-year worker is also entitled to 5.6 weeks holiday. We don't agree with it. When I say we don't agree with it, we think it's bonkers. In the judge's summing up, he said that his hands were tied because of the lack of correct wording in current law. So the judgment he gave is one that he had to give. But it does mean that for people that you have on your books that are 0 hours, so they just do some work for you here and there, now and then, that their whole accrual will change.
Quite often we're accused of things there's no way we could have caused in our minds, but the customer is absolutely convinced that we did. Now, we've talked about when we're falsely accused, but sometimes it really is us. We actually did do it. And as you can see from the picture, and we talked about in one of my groups, someone had actually damaged a TV screen. It happens. But we need to look at it from a customer's point of view. So if you've just smashed their TV or their favourite vase, or you've scratched the floor, firstly, what we need to understand is that most customers are actually reasonable people and understand that accidents happen. So they're not against us.